All right, welcome. This is Miss Rosilian. So we're going to go over my password generator for this. We're going to take a look at and see how mine operates, and then I'm going to show you a couple of different blocks that I used, but and some variables I used. But it's just kind of to give you an idea and to let you know that this is stuff that we have gone over before and different skills that we can pull from. All right, so how long would you like to make your password? It's in between 8 and 22. I'm going to say 14. So think about that. It already starts off asking me something. Then I'm going to respond with an answer between these two numbers. What's going to happen if I don't answer in there? Okay, think about that. And maybe I want it to give me, it has to give me an answer between 8 and 22. So let's continue. Would you like a special character? Okay, so special character like a hashtag, a question mark, anything like that. So I'm going to say yes. Actually, I'm going to say no. Right, so no, and it looks like something changed over here. How do I make that change? It's up to you to kind of do what you like to do. Would you like numbers? I'm going to say yes. Would you like uppercase letters? Yes. Uppercase letters? Yes. Okay, let's make a password. All right, I don't see any special characters on there, but I do see numbers, letters, lowercase, and uppercase ones. Okay, let's try this one more time, and let's get some special characters in there. I'm going to say 18 characters. I'm going to say yes. Okay, yes. Here we go. Okay, let's make a password. And this one's so long on there, it doesn't fit in there, but everything's in there. Special characters, and that's something in the code that I actually have to change. Okay, so here's a couple blocks that I used. Um, and trust me, you do not want to try to descramble this. It's not going to work because there are just so many blocks in this. And actually, this is probably a quarter of the blocks that I use because this repeats itself a lot. Because whatever I ask in the uh, first question, it's going to ask me again and again and again. And then also, when it starts creating a list, it's going to have to pull from one list, then another list, then another list. So this is probably a quarter of the blocks that I used. Okay, so obviously a hat block, start when, a lot of repeat until blocks. So think about kind of when I asked between 8 and 22. That should probably be a repeat or an if else statement in there. Okay, so definitely an answer block in there. Uh, uh, for sure, there's an or that I've used. And think of, instead of if I didn't just press yes, if I pressed a Y in there, maybe I used an OR block in there. Length of password is good. So this actually is a special predicate one that I made because I want it to give me back a true false statement. And uh, basically, that is a block that I had to make on my own. Greater than, equal to, a true reporter block. And then I can also do a false reporter block. So think about that. Like if I want to use a predicate to control the direction of the code, uh, the whole entire true reporter block definitely helps out. So repeat until, for sure I've used that. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Definitely combining blocks like this. Equals no or something else. Let me see. New password. Okay, so that one's not going to show up in yours because that is a variable that I made. Length of password, that's a variable that I made. Answer is a variable that I made. Okay, set length of password to list. Think about shopping list that we did way earlier. How do you put stuff onto a list? Actually, how do you even make sure that it goes to a list first? And the next part is, how do you add stuff to that list? So think of add, think of item. Actually, this item block is when we pull stuff from lists. That's a pretty good idea. So I did a lot of randoms, uh, joins, and I'll tell you about the join. Uh, I have a list of my password goes onto a list basically, And then I basically said join and place that new password block in there, and basically it displays it as a string that's put together. So it doesn't come back with a bunch of different characters separated. It becomes a string and basically connects them all together. Let me see. Ask for sure. That's spelled wrong, but I'll change that later. Ask again. Say welcome. And a lot of says in this. There is one over here, I think, broadcast. Take a look at all these different sprites I have. I have to broadcast to them and tell them what to do. All right. So here are all the variables that I made. Basically, they were holding different information in each and every single variable. So answer. Okay, so the answer one is kind of special because this answer right here, it does not, there's no way for me to clear it. So think of if I asked a question, do you want a special character? And if there's no way for me to clear it, then it jumps already to done, 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 done without even me asking. It just says, oh yeah, we already have the answer. We already have the answer, which they never asked me over and over again. So that was one thing that I ran into. I had to make a special block and hold it and then say, okay, let's start over. Let's start over. Okay, so next is length of password. Think about how that's super helpful. Where I asked that in the code. Lowercase letters. This is literally a list of lowercase letters. This is a list of, where is it? Numbers. Here's a list of numbers. Here's a list of special characters. Here's a list of uppercase characters. Okay, then why are there ones that say true, false next to it? Remember, these are variables. They hold information. I use this one to ask, do you want to even include this in your list? This basically held the answer. So that I use these ones. You can use something different. A randomizer, basically, this helps me randomize which list I'm pulling from. And I think that's all the information that we're going to go over right now. There is a predicate that I made. Let me see if I can pull that one up. So I did length of password is good. I use that as a predicate, basically to double check and say, is this a good list? And there's some code in there that basically double checks and makes sure that it fits the parameters that I wanted. I think that's all the information I'm going to give you right now. And if you're having trouble, here's what you can do. You can rewatch the shopping list lab, and you can rewatch the GPA lab, and you can rewatch the decision-making lab, which basically there's the predicates in there. Shopping list shows how to add items on and take items off. Let me think. And definitely the quiz lab, how to add items onto a list, and how to even set it to a list. So I think that's it for right now. But all right, I will see you in class tomorrow.